Hello everybody, my name is Zoe Rebekah. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a tier ranking video of all of my favorite TV shows. So I told you guys that I wanted to do a favorite TV shows and films video, but I decided that it would be a more interesting video concept to do a tier ranking of my favorite TV shows and then do another video of a tier ranking of my favorite movies, because I just feel like it would be too much to combine it into one video. And you know, I feel like it would just be boring if I were to just list my favorite movies or TV shows. So I've decided to do a tier list ranking video. So pull up. All right, I started screen recording my Mac. Let's get started. So my tier names, I have 5 different tiers. I have will always watch, so I will always put it on. There's never a time where I'm not in the mood for it, really. Most of the time I'm in the mood to watch it. Sometimes I'll choose something else. Sometimes is kind of just a little bit lesser version of that, and it's just it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll watch it sometimes, but I'm not always in the mood for it. Guilty pleasure is I don't think the show is that good of a show, but I will watch it if I'm bored or I'm just feeling like I want to watch a guilty pleasure show. And rarely is it's still one of my favorite shows, but I don't choose to rewatch it a lot. All right, so here are all my shows down here. So let's start with Gilmore Girls. If you're out on the road, which is probably my favorite show. I will always watch Gilmore Girls. I absolutely love Gilmore Girls. I think it is phenomenally written. I think the characters are so well written. I mean, Rory's a little bit unbearable as the show goes on. She gets more unbearable, but love the character writing and love the plot lines, love the whole thing. The acting is great, the setting, and the whole thing is just very comforting to watch that show. And if any of you watched Gilmore Girls and you want to know what team I'm on, it's Jess, which is the only correct team. New Girl? Who's that girl? It's just... I'm also gonna put in will always watch because I got into that a couple years ago. Actually I think it was last year. Theo and I watched New Girl and I really enjoyed it. I was instantly hooked, and I have rewatched it a couple times. Not the whole series, but I've rewatched episodes since I watched it the whole way through, and it's definitely another one of those comfort shows, and it's just a really funny sitcom. I really enjoy sitcoms because they provide me with that comedic relief that I often need in my life. Same thing with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
To the 9-9! To the 9-9!
I'll always watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's fucking hilarious. And I remember I was rewatching it once, and and my dad just came in the room and he just started losing his shit with whatever was on that. So it's a really funny show, and it provides me a lot of, like I said, comedic comfort. Friends, I'll put most of the time because it is an iconic show. I love the show. I've seen it the whole way through, I think at least 3 times, and I love it, but I haven't chosen to rewatch it recently. It's been a while since I've watched it. The Bear, I will always watch. That is obviously a newer show, but it's extremely critically acclaimed, as it deserves to be. It's so good. It's a very interesting dynamic that all the characters have, and it's very well written. It's very well shot, very well directed. The acting is amazing. Cannot recommend The Bear enough. I told you guys in a vlog that people kept recommending me to watch it, and it took me a while to get there, but once I got there, I got there. I was there. I was seated. Modern Family, I'll put most of the time because I don't rewatch it a lot. I love the show. I think it is amazing. It's one of the best sitcoms as of recently, in my opinion. And it was on for a while, so there's plenty of show to watch, which I really like, but I don't rewatch it a lot. But I probably will, so I'm just gonna put it most of the time. And I don't rewatch shows a lot to begin with. Usually I don't rewatch shows unless it's been a while since I've seen it. There's certain exceptions, like shows that are on right now, like Abbott Elementary. I'll rewatch the episodes before the next one comes out, just because first of all I enjoy it so much, and second of all it's on right now. But shows that are finished, I usually don't rewatch them that long after I've watched it because I don't want to ruin the show, because then it just kind of gets boring and I don't want it to become boring. So nonetheless, it goes with this video. The Office, I'm gonna put will always watch because it's an iconic classic and it's funny. It's so fucking funny.
The smoke could be coming through an air duct.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down! Okay, we're trapped. Everyone for himself.
Okay.
Here we go.
Have you ever seen a burn victim? Okay, procedure.
And everyone enjoys The Office. I don't know, I've never met a person who didn't enjoy The Office if they had seen it. Game of Thrones, I'm gonna put sometimes because I love Game of Thrones. I watched it the whole way through. They definitely ruined the last season, as that's like a universal claim, is that like the 8th season ruined Game of Thrones, or like the 8th season wasn't comparable to the previous 7 seasons. It was not nearly as good, but I have rewatched it before. I've seen it the whole way through, I think twice, and I watched certain episodes with Theo. He's never seen all of it. He's only seen I think the beginning of it. But yeah, I don't usually rewatch it. I would like to rewatch it with Theo just since he hasn't seen it really, and it's Game of Thrones and it's like a show that people should watch if they can. It's so good, but I don't rewatch it a lot, especially considering that a lot of the episodes, there's so much going on that it's kind of hard to like reprocess it again. One Tree Hill, I'm gonna put in guilty pleasure because I told you guys that is a show that I watch when I am bored. Like, I think I've gotten through halfway through season 4. I don't even know how many seasons there are. I think there might be 9 seasons, but I've only watched like up to I think halfway through season 4. I was into it at first and then it just got really fucking melodramatic, so it's a guilty pleasure for me. It's not bad, it's just not good either. That's my opinion. The Society,
6 months ago, we were children. This is who we are now.
I would put sometimes, just because it was only 1 season and Netflix fucking canceled it after a season because of COVID and shit. Very disappointing. That show was phenomenal. I'm so upset that it got canceled, especially considering how it ended. I don't know why they would end it like that and then not ever continue it or give us anything about the continuation of it. If you haven't seen the first season of Society, which is the only season of the Society on Netflix, I recommend watching it, but also I don't, because then you're just gonna be disappointed that there's no more. So that's why I don't rewatch it a lot, because it just reminds me that there's no more coming. Okay, Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks.
We'll put most of the time because I have rewatched that, and I have recently been rewatching season 3 in preparation for the next season to come out this year. I don't know when it'll come out exactly, but it's coming out this year. So I have been rewatching season 3 and I have rewatched the other seasons, and it's mostly because it's such a long gap in between each season that comes out that I have to kind of rewatch the last season to remember what happened. But yeah, I do really enjoy the show. It's a really enjoyable, very unique show, and the acting is really good. They're all gorgeous people, and it's really interesting plot lines, and I don't know. I recommend the show if you haven't seen it already. It's really good. It's a really good teen drama show. All right, I had to deal with some technical difficulties, but I'm back now. Moving on. So 30 Rock, another great comedy. Tina Fey, comedic genius, we know. I'm gonna put it in sometimes because I don't think I actually have rewatched it. I watched the whole thing once and I don't think I've rewatched any of it, and I really did enjoy it, but it's not like a rewatch show for me, I guess. So we'll put it in sometimes because I still really enjoyed it. I really like it. I think it's a great show, but I don't rewatch it a lot. This Is Us, we'll put in, I'm currently watching it. Like, I'm literally at the end of season 6. We're like in the middle of season 6. So we're at like the end of the show and it's really good. Like, phenomenal show, and the way that they're ending it is perfect. I love it. But just because I'm literally still watching it for the first time, obviously I haven't rewatched it yet if I'm still watching it for the first time. So we're gonna put it most of the time, and I can definitely see myself rewatching certain episodes, but it is just generally a very emotionally heavy show. It's sad a lot, and I don't always want to watch sad shows, but sometimes I'm in the mood for it, and if I am, then that is one of the shows that I will choose. Gossip Girl.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
We'll put in guilty pleasure because I've seen the whole thing through, and I started rewatching it with Theo, and we never finished it like I talked about because it just gets weird and confusing towards like season 5, and so towards the end of the show it's just melodramatic and confusing. Same thing with Pretty Little Liars.
Got a secret.
I'm gonna put Pretty Little Liars in there too. I feel like One Tree Hill, Gossip Girl, and Pretty Little Liars are all like my favorite teen shows, but I acknowledge that they're not like good shows. They're not really that well written. Like, the acting is pretty good. Like, they're all pretty good actors in all these shows. The writing isn't that great, but they're guilty pleasure classic teen shows that I will watch sometimes, but they're not great. Like, actually, like cinematically and literary wise, like they're not that top notch, but they are guilty pleasure comfort shows. So that's why they're going in there. The White Lotus, I'm gonna put in will always watch. There's only 2 seasons of it so far, and they're like different seasons. Like, there's literally only 2 characters in common in both seasons, and one of them winds up dead by the end of season 2. Spoiler if you haven't seen it already, but it's kind of a known thing now. But I'm really looking forward to the next season of that, and I know it's like kind of a limited series, so it's like a little bit of an outlier, but I will always watch it. It's such a good show. I have only seen the first season and second season one time each, but Theo hasn't seen any of it yet. yet, and I really want to show him it, so I will be rewatching it with him. But yeah, great show. If you haven't seen The White Lotus yet, it's phenomenal. The writing and directing are amazing, and like the location shots are just incredible because they're like in beautiful locations around the world where they're filming this show. The first season was in Hawaii, the second one was in Italy. Really great scenery. I totally forgot to mention how outstanding the cast is. The acting is so fucking amazing in that show. All of them in both seasons. Jennifer Coolidge, Aubrey Plaza, Theo James, Sydney Sweeney, Alexandra Daddario, Connie Britton. They're all fucking amazing. Parks and Rec will put in most of the time. Another one of those classic sitcoms, Amy Poehler, comedic genius, that I will like to watch sometimes. I will just throw on random episodes of it if I need some comedy, but I feel like I would choose Gilmore Girls, New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Office over Parks and Rec, but I still love Parks and Rec, but that's why it's going in most of the time and not all the time. The End of the Fucking World will put in sometimes. Again, it was kind of a short-lived Netflix show, and I really enjoyed it. I think there was only 2 seasons of it. I'm gonna look that up. End of the Fucking World. Yeah, there's only 2 seasons of it, and it came out in 2017, but really good show. And I'm really disappointed that they never continued it. I don't even know how to explain what it's about. It's about this kid who's like really weird and has like thoughts about like killing people or something. And then he meets this girl and he wants to kill her. It's really confusing to explain. You have to just watch it, but it's so good. But it is incredibly disappointing that they never finished it, really. So that's why it's going in sometimes. I don't rewatch it a lot because the same thing as The Society just reminds me of the disappointment that it will never continue. The Summer I Turned Pretty, I'm gonna put in guilty pleasure because it's another one of those teen shows that I acknowledge is not the best. It's incredibly cheesy, but I love it. It's one of those cheesy shows that I actually really enjoy. There are a lot of like really cheesy teen shows like that I just don't like because they're too much. They're too cheesy. Like I loved To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I love those movies. I could not get into XO Kitty, but some of those cheesy teen shows and movies, I do love them. And Summer I Turned Pretty is one that I do love, and I am excited about the next season coming out of it. Sex Education we'll put in, we'll always watch. Another one of those Netflix shows, a British Netflix comedy drama. It is amazing. There's 4 seasons of it out. It's over now. The 4th season came out recently and it was the last season, which is incredibly sad, but it was time to end it. The actors all need to move on, but it is such a good show. Like it is very unique in their approach to the topic of education. It's called Sex Education and it's literally about sex education, and it's like how you imagine a teen sex show to be, but it's just done in such a perfect way. Like they could have really fucked it up and they didn't. They did a really great job. Abbott Elementary is going in. Obviously we'll always watch. That's like next to Gilmore Girls, honestly, because it's on right now and it's definitely my like new favorite show. Like I love it so much. I am a tiny girl from Philly, like I've talked about, and that's part of the reason I love it, but it's just a great show. It's so well written. I feel like I kind of want to be some version of Quinta Brunson. She's a tiny woman, she's a writer, she's a comedic actress. I would definitely like to pursue something that she did, which is like, you know, I worked for BuzzFeed or something for a while like she did, like just as a writer, and then I create my own series and it just becomes a massive success and I star in it, and like that is just my ideal situation of how my career turns out, is how hers has turned out. And I don't know, I think that's part of the reason I just really appreciate and admire the show. I really appreciate and admire her, and I don't know, it's a hilarious show. It is so fucking funny. It is one of the funniest shows I have ever seen, and I'm being so fucking for real.
Black? It's actually pronounced Zach.
Okay, Daisy Jones and the Six, we're gonna put in most of the time. Again, it was a limited series. There's only 1 season of it. I doubt it's continuing. That's not been confirmed or denied, but there's only 1 book that it was based on, and that was the 1st season of it. So I don't know if there'll be another one, and they wrapped it up kind of nicely, so I don't know, but we shall see. But it was a great show. Phenomenal soundtrack. Daisy Jones and the Six was my 5th most streamed artist on Spotify last year. This fictional band from this fictional show, from this fictional book. The music is so good. The story is so good. It is so well written and the acting is phenomenal. Riley Keough is amazing as Daisy Jones. Camila Morrone is amazing. Sam Claflin is amazing. They're all amazing. Okay, Euphoria we're gonna put in sometimes, just because I really did enjoy the first 2 seasons, but I don't care about the next season. Like I could not care less about if more is coming or not. You know, I had my fix of it the first 2 seasons, and if there was another season like released shortly after the 2nd season, then I would be interested. But because it's been so long already and we still haven't gotten anything really about the next season, I frankly don't care. And I think that's how most people feel about it. It worked for a while and they kind of fucked it up. So, oh well, like I'm not like that sad about it at this point. It's been so long since the last season came out that I don't feel like sad about the fact that this show is like pretty much over. That honestly should have gone in rarely. But that doesn't discount the fact that I do still enjoy the first 2 seasons of the show. I think the cinematography, the acting, the directing, the writing, it's all amazing. It's just run its course. But yeah, those are all of my favorite TV shows. I probably missed a couple, maybe, I don't know. But I started making this list a little bit ago and I was adding to it a little bit, you know, in preparation for this video. But yeah, so these are most of them. I hope you guys enjoyed finding out what my favorite TV shows were and how I would rank them in this way. But yeah, definitely check out any of these shows if you haven't already. And if you have, then definitely rewatch them. They're all phenomenal. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. All right, hey guys, first of all, we got a special guest here, the kitty. I don't want to disturb him anyway, but I just wanted to quickly add at the end of this video, I meant to film it but I forgot, but a couple shows that I either just started or I'm going to start that I wanted to briefly talk about, that I wanted to include in this video. The Sopranos I just started. I watched the first 2 episodes of it. That's all I've watched so far, but it is so fucking good. The pilot was so good. The show is amazing. Obviously, it's a very critically acclaimed show. Oh, bye-bye, kitty. It's a very critically acclaimed show for a reason. Won so many awards. It's known to be a great show. And I just haven't gotten around to watching it, and I just started it, and it is amazing, so I felt the need to add it here. And I also started watching Ugly Betty. And I find that show really good too. It's a little dramatic, but you know what? I'm living for it. I really like it. America Ferrera is fantastic in it. Great show. And the 2 shows that I haven't started yet, but I'm going to because they've been recommended to me multiple times now. Succession and Beef. Beef is a limited series, and Succession, I don't know how many seasons there are. I think there's 4 or 5. I think it's 4. I don't know how many seasons there are, but they're both recent shows and I just haven't started either of them yet, so I don't really have anything to say about them, but I'm really excited to start them. So yeah, so those are the 4 shows that I either have just started or I'm going to start soon that I briefly wanted to mention here. So yeah, really recommend The Sopranos and Ugly Betty. Those 2 shows could not be more different, but they're both beautiful in their own ways. And I will let you know how I feel about Beef and Succession when I start them. Yeah. Also, sorry, one more. My dad's been telling me to watch 6 Feet Under a lot, which is about a family that owns a funeral home, so that should be super uplifting. But I've heard it is a good show from other people as well, so I will be starting that when I get the time as well. Also, I just briefly wanted to point out that part of the reason that I watch so many shows is because I am a writer and I aspire to be a screenwriter. I specifically want to write teleplays, so I want to write for television. That is my ultimate goal in my career. So I watch a lot of television shows, especially ones that are known to be well written. I watch a lot of those shows so that I can have creative inspiration for my own writing in the future and right now, and I can take notes. I obviously just love to be entertained by television, but I also watch it from a writer's perspective. I watch it to be inspired for my own work. Make sure you guys stay tuned for my film version of this video. I'm gonna be doing a tier ranking of my favorite films, so look out for that. I'm super excited to film that one, and this was super fun to do. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Share this video on my channel so those you think might be interested. Make sure you guys give this video a like. It really helps me out, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. That also really helps me out, and make sure you guys leave me comments down below. Any suggestions of videos you want to see, and make sure you guys comment down below what your favorite TV shows are. And also check out my poetry book, An Erratic Anthology, and my psychology, and my memoir, Battles on the Borderline. Make sure you guys stream all my music out and my spoken word album, Metamorphosis, and check out my podcast, Ebbs and Flows with Zoe Frenchman, and follow me on all my other social medias. My Snapchat is Zoe Frenchman, my Instagram is Zoe R. Frenchman, my Twitter is Zoe Rebekah F, and my TikTok is Zoe RF420. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!